decisions. And we're going to make sure as we move through these processes, we kind of keep in mind, how they're going to impact all the different groups, whether it's the students, the staff, the community, the Board of Education, and making sure that we are looking at all of those different groups, the parents as well, and how each one of those decisions, we want to kind of put it through that filter and think through those decisions through each one of those to make sure that, once we come out with the decision, we've at least tried to think through everything we could. And I can't need to continually do that going forward. And I know Mr. Torok, before everyone jumped on, we were talking about the capital projects, and we've been working hard. We have a lot of that in place already about what that's going to look like over the next 5 to 10 years, as well as ongoing.
Staff of this district, but it's also just makes what people do more rewarding, I think, and good, because and our staff and everybody else is going to work harder because of it.
We're not going to know that until we start coming out of it and see what businesses are impacted, what whether it's the home loans, student loans, all those bubbles that were kind of created at 2008 recession, kind of aren't there right now, but they could develop. But right at this time, now it doesn't mean that it couldn't present itself in the future, and we'll be definitely watching that. But right now, in regards to the forecast, we haven't, I haven't done any reductions in regards to property values. I've kind of maintained what we had in the forecast from November going forward.
And I would think it wouldn't be a cut, but my big concern is how are you going to get everything in a school day when we've got the issue in terms of being six feet away from everybody, and students being housed together, and classrooms being, frankly, going to be probably shortened in terms of how many people can be in a classroom. So my question is are we being?
We're going to model those things, and so that way we have a good idea. But ultimately, those decisions aren't going to be based upon if it saves the district money or costs the district more. It's going to be how do we best provide that education, to our students. With that always a fiscal responsibility to it. 25% of our revenue. So with the biennial budget being passed for the 2020-2021 school year, those dollars are set. And I know there's been some discussion, the governor's mentioned that, looking at cuts of 20% across the board in regards to, governmental departments and those type of things at the state level. One of the things, funding component of that, and right now, again, I have it flat funded, but as we get closer to the fall forecast, I think we'll have more information regarding 22 through 24 that we could potentially model a slight reduction in those dollars as well.
Are affecting the budget on the revenue side currently?
Sure. So with Lakewood City Schools, what was going on back in early January and February last time we met, when we talked about the potential of the expansion of the voucher program, and that of course was delayed until originally a change in the Ed Choice. We will not have an Ed Choice school in our system, so we are on that side of it safe. We're in a safe harbor for 1 year until the legislature comes back and makes a determination on how they want to, determine what Ed Choice buildings are going forward.
Thank you.
Again, whether it's some sort of blended learning, remote learning, or some sort of staggered schedule, those are all things that we are currently talking about for next school year, and how we would prepare, how we would plan. And those are discussions that we've, again, been having. But now that we're set and knowing that 2020 school year, we have our plan in place, we know what those things are going forward, we're really shifting Quite honestly, not significantly. Chris Donahoe, our director of operations, we've always had a deep cleaning process in place, especially as we've worked through different things that have happened in classrooms. So there was like all long-term discussions that until we have in place how that instructional component will be, then what is the operational cost associated with that. On the flip side of that, though, I can tell you that, and this will spill into some of the other questions, for FY20 school year, we have seen, without a doubt, operational savings, whether it be the largest component of that, of course, is substitute costs. The last quarter of FY20, the number of substitute teachers that we've needed reduce costs as well. And then the other area, of course, is, we already talked about maintenance supplies and those type of things. Even though we've been continually clean the buildings, because of the lack of activity in the buildings, the need to clean individual classrooms on a daily basis has been reduced back in. So, without a doubt, the largest one of those, of course, would be substitutes, and understanding the need and how we would approach substitute teachers going forward in a blended or a 100% remote learning, I think will have a large impact on the FY21 budget.
Starts. And I'm just asking that question because is it important that whatever we know, we can assist in getting the word out to the community as it relates to whatever the school system is going to do as it relates to education?
Bob, I think that's a wonderful.
As we get closer to understanding I think having maybe trying to pull together a meeting in July would be a good idea to talk through the different potential scenarios that are being considered. Again, to the point Mr. Torok made.
I've also been impressed. I've seen several now requests for surveys going out to parents to get input from the homes of the students as to how this process is working for them now. Internet is unstable, so okay. All right, but just the fact that we're seeking input from parents, in a sense, it's a good thing where we're at, because if we look at the blended or the